Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With FishingBooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. FishingBooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to FishingBooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today.
Suffering from dry, tired, irritated eyes? Don't let dry eyes win. Use Sustain Pro. It hydrates, restores, and protects dry eyes for up to 12 hours. Sustain Pro. Triple action dry eye relief.
All right, welcome back to the Survival and Basic Badass Podcast with Kevin and Chuck. Today, the long-awaited ham radio episode. Now, you guys who've been with us a long time will remember somewhere way back around like episode 10, people started requesting, hey, you guys should do ham radio. And we were like, we're going to get right on that. Mm-hmm. And now, somewhere around episode 119, 120, here we are. Nailed it.
Only took a year and a half to get around to it.
Only took a year and a half. So, here's what happened. What it is I got a buddy who is like a ham radio genius and whatever. I think I mentioned this to some people. I don't know. But this guy knows everything there is. And has been doing it for 30 years and is the man. And I was like, if I'm doing ham radio, I got to get him, my buddy John, on this episode. And guess what? There's no John.
There's no John here today.
And that's why you waited a year and a half. 'Cause I'm like, hey, you know what would be great? Oh, yeah, I'm going to do that for you. I think we all have buddies like that.
Yep.
Now,
John.
if only I had a ham radio, I could call him like every night, be like, yo, dude. Yeah. Tomorrow, man. I could have done this episode right over the radio. Mm-hmm. Now, I was able to pick his brain, search the vast boundaries of the internet, all over YouTube, various podcasts. We're doing some research. Some kind of apps were downloaded to my phone. So there was some learning happening. Questions were asked. But I think we have sufficient information to bring to you guys, get you a little started. Now, Kevin and I were discussing, I think the way to start this is really, why would you want, as a prepper, to get involved with ham radio? And then we're going to expand it kind of to, why would I get my license and learn how to, whatever. But why is this ham radio a big thing for preppers?
Well, I think a lot of people use ham radios during emergencies. California with earthquakes and fires, there's a lot of information going out over the ham radio, the amateur radio there. Yep, communications with FEMA and other organizations. A lot of different places.
When the government rolls into your town and they're setting up troops at the local stadium and whatever, a lot of it's going to be secure communications. But I bet you with ham radio, you'll be able to see a lot of what's going on and what's where and who's doing what and why. They always say with like FEMA and stuff, you want to know where the water's going to be distributed, or you want to know where they're going to have dry ice and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. The ham radio guys know long before you do.
Yep. Yeah, and, a lot of people think about, modern era. You don't, you can count on your cell phone. You can count on your landline. You can count on the internet. But that's not really always the case.
Not on September 11th.
Yeah, I was in New Jersey trying to call my parents in New York day after September 11th, and it was probably a week and a half, 2 weeks before I could get through on a telephone line.
Wow.
So I mean, it's definitely something that has come up before, and it's good chance that it's going to come up again.
Hurricanes, fires, all these things, and the end of the world. EMP, whatever. Ham radio, you just need 12 volts and your protected radio and you're in,
Yeah. I know a lot of guys, have been able to set up systems where they can just hook their ham radio up to solar panels directly and run off of that without having to plug into the grid.
No battery or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And...
Yep.
Not bad.
A lot of battery-operated systems, too, that you can charge up the batteries in, obviously a lot of different ways and still be online there.
I like it.
All right. There's 750,000 licensed amateur radio enthusiasts in the United States.
That sounds like a huge number.
That's a large number. It's 750,000 people out there already doing it.
Now,
licensed.
Of those 750,000 or whatever the number you just said, of those, how many are over the age of 80?
Oh, I would say a good 50%. You bring it down to 70, and you probably got 75% of them in there.
Now, if you're wondering what the weather's like somewhere, ham radio might be for you. If you're wondering, is it going to rain tomorrow? Or, what are you going to do this weekend? You going to cut the lawn? Ham radio just might be for you. I'm just busting balls here. I don't know. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but it
comes naturally.
It comes natural. No, I was checking out some of the ham radio channels and listening, and I swear that's what everybody calls and asks, and it's like, oh, well, what's the weather like there? And they're, oh, great, well, what antenna do you use, and what radio are you using today? And I'm like, oh, that's really fascinating.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a whole different landscape in the midst of a natural disaster and those sorts of events.
All right, so maybe I put a damper on the whole thing. I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, we're not encouraging people to get their ham radio license so they can find out about weather in other cities. That's not the purpose.
That's the question then. Why would you get a ham radio license, especially after I just sold it like that? Well, here's the reason. Because when you're talking to people and asking them about the weather and connecting all over, you learn about different repeater stations. You learn about the lingo, how to talk, how to communicate, how to get connected to the right people,
right?
What your capabilities are of who you can reach. When you talk to these other people, you'll find out, wow, you could bounce a signal off the moon and, with different repeaters. Guess what? These things are possible with ham radio. There is all kinds of cool things happening out there and different possibilities available to you. Right. You can set it up so that you're sending, data over the ham radio, all kinds of cool stuff. So the thing is, when the grid goes down, guess what? Ham radio is probably going to be there.
Right.
Or at least be there on some kind of local level. So, because I don't know how many repeaters will still be set up in the various places and being able to find and connect. We'll talk about what repeaters are in just a second.
All right.
But, that kind of stuff. But the bottom line, communications, honestly, that's part of situational awareness. Being, what's going on? What's going on in the world? What happened? Why did all the lights go out?
Yeah. Why isn't my phone working?
Why doesn't my phone work? Or, hey, let me have that radio so I can call my wife and say, hey, stay where you are. What's going on? I can come get you or, whatever. So.
Yeah. Now, there's a lot of different types of radios that you can get involved in, kind of work your way up if you wanted to.
All right.
Obviously, CB. CB is Citizens Band.
All right. Now, Citizen Band, that's like your, channel 1, 2, up to whatever, I don't know. I just had it pulled up here a minute ago. I will tell you. It is channel 1 through 40.
All right.
Is Citizen Band.
Right.
Those are pretty much all open to everybody. Anybody can talk on there. You don't need your ham radio license, whatever. Channel 9 is reserved for emergency.
Okay.
So when you're out on your boat and it starts sinking, you want to go to channel 9, and the sheriff is going to be monitoring that.
Okay.
That's going to work
now,
out.
Yeah, a lot of the reason that people don't use CBs is because they're a little bit overcrowded. There's no regulation on it, so people can use swear words and things like that, and that upsets more delicate people.
It still upsets people. They FCC does monitor it. They might yell at you. I don't know.
Yeah. Scold you.
Stern talking to. Typically, channel 13 is used for like marine and RV. 14 traditionally for like the walkie-talkie type setup.
All right.
But again, these channels are pretty open. Yeah, I don't know. Channel 19 is kind of where you're going to find the truckers at.
All right. Looking for some nose candy.
They don't like when you get in there and start busting balls. But what are they going to do, really?
Right. They can't track you down.
Mess with a trucker, I don't know. Otherwise, it's pretty much fair game as far as CBs go.
All right.
And that's basically 26.96 to 27.40 is channel 40. So,
all right.
Whatever, if that means anything to you.
All right, family radio service. This is FRS.
All right,
This is basically your simple walkie-talkie. The walkie-talkie you get from Walmart.
Oh, I love that.
That's FRS.
If it's Batman shaped, has the or they have Iron Man. I've seen.
Yep. Yeah. I got the Incredible Hulk one.
All right.
They got a. Now this is kind of limited in the distance you can use it. Has to be line of sight. But it's really, really about a mile is what you're going to get out of these.
Okay.
And then there's GMRS. That's General Mobile Radio Service. That's just basically a step up. It's used for businesses, for, different things like that.
Now that you're still going to have like the CB channels.
Right.
Like your 1 through 40.
Right. There's an $85 license fee for that, though.
Oh.
So you're stepping up your game a little bit, but you got to pay for it.
All right.
Now, there's the MURS, that's Multi-Use Radio Service. Now, there's a lot of interesting things in there. There's no need for a license. Can be used you can pair it up with your cell phone and basically send text messages to people within a certain radius without a cell phone network. So basically, you can use your cell phone as a walkie-talkie. Not really a walkie-talkie. You're sending text messages back and forth. But there's no regulation on that, and there's been a lot of interesting apps and a lot of interesting different things that you can use your cell phone with to bypass your regular cell phone network.
I like that.
All right. Now, ham radio or amateur radio.
All right.
Is it's great for listening to and talking to emergency services.
Now, what's cool is you can listen without a license.
Right.
You just can't transmit without a license. Now, when you get into ham radio, turns out, this is, remember I told you like up to basically 30 megahertz is that CB band. Now, 30 to 300 megahertz is like VHF. But basically, 144 to 188 or 144 to 148 is where you're going to have your like technician license kind of people are operating. Mm-hmm. This is short range kind of VHF.
Right.
This is, they say line of sight. Mm-hmm. So it kind of depends on your antenna and repeater stations, which basically what a repeater station is you broadcast to a set point that's 10 miles away, and then they're going to pick up the signal and broadcast it another 10 or 20, or usually these are higher antennas with more power, and we'll
so you're basically relaying your message.
And relay. Mm-hmm. So that's where it gets fun, where all of a sudden you're talking to a bunch of people. Mm-hmm. This is available to you with a technician license. Sorry.
All right.
And basically the technician license, there's 3 different classes of license for ham radio. We have technician, general, and then extra class.
All right.
So technician is basically your VHF, short range stuff. Then your general is HF, which is the more long-range stuff. And then the extra just expands the frequencies further out, so you just have a little more options available to you. To do the technician test, not that hard from what I'm told. I haven't done it. There's an app. You can do practice tests on your own. Basically, what I'm told is it's like doing your driver's test, your written test at the DMV.
All right, so you just study up
You're
on
about that level of hardness.
Uh-huh.
I actually wrote down you're going to take a test that's 35 multiple choice questions. They're out of 426 possible questions.
All right.
And you're required to get at least 26 of them right.
Okay.
Now, all 426 questions, word for word, are available to anybody right now.
All right.
So you can go see those questions. You don't have to, whatever. There's no secret or surprise.
Right.
You do a little research, a little bit of common sense. You kind of watch some videos on YouTube, pay attention. You can do this. Now, what's cool is you can go online, and I'm going to give you guys a website, and you can find out where they're offering the test, which is usually pretty frequently. I would say within once a month, you should be able to find somebody local, offering this test. It costs you $15. You need to bring a photo ID, a calculator if you want it, but you can use your phone as a calculator. They frown on that. And you can go take your test at like a library, stuff like that. They offer it. What'll happen is you can actually take the general test off the same $15 at the same time.
All right, so you can.
So
hit
if you
both
go
of them.
while they're proctoring it, you do your one as long as you pass the technician test.
All right.
They'll allow you to, you know what? Can I take that general right now too? Sure, no problem. They'll hand it to you, and you go knock that one out as well. So there are apps. I wrote it down. So the app is the one that I looked at was Amateur Radio Exam Prep, and then they have Technician, General, or Extra class. So the guy, the app designer, developer, the guy's name is Patrick Maloney. If you're just looking to make sure you have the right one.
All right.
They were like $5. There are free ones. This has the, review questions, practice questions, FCC rules. You can kind of read through it and study, but you can also do practice tests on there and kind of get a feel that you're going to pass it or not, and
Right.
whatever. So, I think if you put some time into it when you're sitting on the toilet or whatever, you go through. I know people like to look at their phones when they're on the toilet. That's what I've heard.
It's not something you do.
Not something I would do, because that's just gross. Hand sanitizer, my friend. But you would just, go through, study up, see how it goes. And like I said, maybe put in the effort. If you're going to waste the time taking a Saturday or something, maybe you study up for the general as well. Again, I don't know. I was told a lot of people, can just go in and knock it out. I wouldn't go in there blind. I would go through a couple of, practice tests and make sure you're going to nail it.
Right.
But
this isn't the SATs.
Well, I don't know. I mean, they were easy too, right?
Yeah. Hey, for us smart people.
Yeah. Brainiacs.
Because
right.
I got a 500.
So
combined.
Yeah, combined. You know what? They changed the rules. I don't even know what's going on with a SAT and who does good or who does bad. Now, there is an organization called the National Organization for Amateur Radio. Now, the website is ARRL.org. They basically have like free test questions. You can see the test question pool. They have the research. They'll tell you what radios to buy and all the fancy things. What antennas. They really have, all the resources right there available to you. And actually, when you go and take a test and you pay that $15, it's going to these guys.
Right.
Believe it or not, the FCC doesn't really get anything from you when you do it. It's these guys who keep things going. And believe it or not, this bandwidth is like considered prime real estate. And so like you have TV channels and everybody's gunning for, more frequencies for different things. These people go to bat and actually use that $15, kind of like the NRA,
right?
Goes to bat for you. These guys are looking out for protecting your rights and whatever as a ham guy.
Right, because these frequencies really belong to everybody. They're a natural resource in a sense.
Yeah.
And
that's right.
It can be eaten up by corporations and companies. And, as long as we keep it free, or at least a large section of it free,
and
it's pretty important to do.
It's a resource you can have. Now, one of the things that I always hear people, in the prepper blogs and stuff talk about is they're like, well, I'm just going to buy the radio and I'll use it and learn how to do it after,
right?
The shit hits the fan,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when I'm going to do it. I got to tell you, this is a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. I mean, one, you may say, you know what? I'm not the ham radio guy. It's not really something that sits with me and whatever. And I understand. You know what? If you want to just buy a scanner and have something there, I might be able to learn and whatever. You're probably better than not having anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. And you can download the local frequencies and, resources that are available for your area. That's all cool. But the cool thing about going and getting your technician license is going to be so that you get familiar. That's when the learning happens, right? That's when you're like, oh, where I live, there's all these repeater stations and you can program in their frequencies and know what's going on. Now, these are resources you're going to find online at websites like I just told you.
Mm-hmm.
And you can go there and see what's available to me. Now, once you set up these networks and learn how to use and to communicate and find, these other things, because bottom line, you're not going to know what you're doing. You're not going to be able to set it up. You're not going to be able to, get through this stuff without a little kind of, know-how that comes beforehand from this practice stuff. The technician, it's an afternoon. It's kind of the way I look at it. It's like getting your motorcycle license or your trapper license or your hunting license. It's an afternoon. I don't want to do it. I don't want to really study and figure something out. But when you do it, it's like, you know what? That's one more tool I have in the arsenal.
Right.
And that's what it is. And I agree. Maybe we don't all need to, but guess what? If you have a prepper group and you all live in like a 20-mile circle, how cool is it if when things go bad, you can all get on the radio and say, hey, I'm over here. Mm-hmm. Now, another thing I wanted to talk about that I actually found kind of interesting. A while back, we made mention that they have different, you can send data. And people talked about, encryption programs and different ways, whatever. Now, technically, the FCC does not allow you to transmit encrypted material.
All right.
I did not know this. Turns out that's a thing. Technically, you can't even disguise what you're saying. Mm-hmm. They don't approve of that. That's a no-go.
Pierre has a long mustache.
See? So if you are like, oh, well, we'll go old school and we'll both have the same version of the Bible or something. And we'll reference, page 278, fifth paragraph, fourth word, whatever. Technically, that's a no-go.
Right.
That's not allowed. Now, what I would say, if you were worried about a little OPSEC, again, you start communicating, working together with your prepper network. Mm-hmm. You guys are talking to each other. You could say, hey, let's plan out 8 frequencies that this group is going to use. And we'll call this one 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And every Thursday night at 7 o'clock, we'll check frequency number 1. Mm-hmm. And after we all make contact, after 5 minutes of the first contact or whatever, we'll all switch to frequency 2. Mm-hmm. And then that way you all have your list. And then if you feel like something's been compromised, you can go to frequency 8. Mm-hmm. Now, guess what? The people who are monitoring things like Big Brother, they have frequency hoppers and they can kind of figure it out and put it together. But if you're worried about gangs and thugs and people monitoring you,
yeah, they're not going to.
They're not going to put that together. Not easily be able to hop around. In fact, because even if they're scrolling and scanning, it's going to take them 10 minutes to get back on track. And, so whatever. I'm just saying there's a bunch of useful tools here. It's one more thing to put into your belt. You learn survival, you learn trapping, you learn how to make fire, you learn how to purify water. Well, guess what? Learning about communications, it's one more thing, first aid. Maybe you're the first aid guy and somebody else is the ham radio guy. But like I said, kind of nudging everybody to get a radio and setting them up can really bring together the group.
Yeah, and the truth is that you're not looking at a huge expense to get started.
Actually, one of the analogies I heard was it's kind of like guns. You can get into guns where, you can buy something that works for $150, or you can buy something that works really well for $10,000.
Right.
It's whatever you want it to be. Usually, the quality of transmitting is left to where you can, I don't know, bottom line, if you spend like $70, it's really going to buy you the same transmitting power as maybe $300 or $400 for the most part, but there are usually more features. You know what I'm saying? Like different things you can do, different, easier to program, has presets, has different things. So, I mean, you can get in the game very inexpensively. Honestly, you can buy like $40 freaking receivers and even transceivers. You can get into something decent, usually only like 5 watts. But again, you find these repeaters and whatever gets you started. You can get in there for $90, $100, start doing something. Me, I'm stuck going out to the boat and sitting there with the CB and talking to truckers. So, to each his own, right?
Right. Now, a lot of guys have been talking about soda.
Okay, tell me about soda.
Soda, it's not SODA. It's
because that's what I drank.
Yeah.
All right.
Summits on the Air. Now, this is a program that seems pretty interesting, and I think it would be a good exercise for a lot of us preppers. It's basically the goal is to get licensed amateur radio operators to temporarily operate from mountainous areas. What that would mean was that you would hike up with your equipment to the summit of a mountain,
all right,
and transceive from there. Now you can get points for every mountain that you summit and transmit from.
Oh yeah, you become a little bit cooler.
Well, you can also be a lazy bastard.
Tell me more about this
get
part.
Points just by receiving messages from people that did the hike.
Nailed it.
Yeah, that's my speed right there.
Yeah,
right?
I like that.
But it gets you in the mode of operating your equipment in adverse conditions.
I think you should hike up all our local peaks here, and I'll be the receiver station down here.
Yeah.
Because, you need me to verify.
Somebody needs to.
So.
Right? All right. So all equipment must be carried in and must function off battery or solar power. So you can't, go up to Mount Washington in New Hampshire and just plug into what they got up there.
All right.
You have to actually hike in. You can't drive
Can't
up
use the
there.
charging station they have up at the peak.
Yeah,
I don't know what they have.
I don't know. But,
all right.
But you basically, points are awarded to all activators. That would be the hikers. And all chasers. Those are the people that are receiving, from the activators.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it seems like a pretty interesting way to get to use your radio and figure out how to use it off grid.
Exactly. I mean, once you're actually transporting it and moving stuff around, this is when the stuff is really tested.
Right.
This is when you're going to know, you know what, I'm going to be okay. And the cool thing with the soda stuff is that basically in order to transmit far, you need line of sight and you need wattage to transmit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you trade these things off. So if I'm a 6-foot tall guy standing in a flat field that, out in the Midwest where everything's flat, then I'm cool. But when I climb up the mountain, now all of a sudden I have a lot more reach, unless I'm surrounded by other really tall mountains. But you know what I mean. So you end up cutting down the power required.
Right. You don't need as much power.
Which is going to save your batteries, your transmit power. So it's, a happy trade-off. But it is fun to experiment and try out different things, see what's available to you. So, there's a lot of good stuff. Obviously, we're not giving you the authority, whatever. But what we're trying to do is show you what's available to you.
Right.
And, there's a lot of cool stuff out there and cool things you can do for it. And I hate to say it, this is a vital tool for your prepper group if you're anywhere near a city or any kind of population.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're planning on being a million miles in the middle of nowhere and just going straight, Grizzly Adams or whatever.
There you go.
Straight Grizzly Adams, then this might be something you really should be looking into.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a big prepping network, one, maybe you're not the main guy, but really you kind of want to push people to get the technician license and get where you're kind of familiar and have a little setup that you can communicate.
Yeah. All right. That sounds pretty good. You got anything else on
that seems like the big gist of, because the thing is, I know it's not the sexiest topic and I didn't want to bore you guys, but a lot of you guys have been asking and kind of interested, and everybody's kind of curious about this stuff. So it's kind of interesting.
And if you want more information than what we're giving you here,
I have some links.
All right.
I have about 20 links in the show notes.
Okay.
So you guys are going to want to, check that out, where to get the license, how to do it, where to study, what to study. It's all going to be in there. I even have some YouTube channels you guys might want to check out. So I'll put it all in the show notes and you guys will be good. A lot of neat stuff out there, and maybe even some possible ham radios you might want to purchase.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll throw some up in the links. Now, there's a couple things going on. We're still a lot of gun control stress in the world. I have to point out, the NRA has made slight shift in a more positive direction. I know you guys have heard me bash the NRA for, well, I gotta say, I might have seen this coming. I feel like maybe when they were like, oh, we could give them that, and I was like, that's dangerous, stop. Well, it seems the NRA is kind of coming back around and is like, we're not giving up on anything, and they're kind of hardlining it on not raising it to 21, and seen them take a little tougher stance, and I gotta say, I'm happy to see that. You guys may want to support the NRA a little bit now that some of these companies are getting bullied into pulling their sponsorship. But I got a little shout out to FedEx. They really tried to bully FedEx into dumping the NRA, and they held strong.
They stuck to it, huh?
Right. Roku, same thing. They were bullied and did not back down.
All right.
They agreed to keeping the NRA channel on there. That was a big push. So stuff like that, people who are doing something to, look out for what you believe in, that may be cool. You may also want to stop shopping at Dick's. Turns out Dick's is like, well, scary guns, we're not going to sell them because we don't want to be responsible.
Right.
Well, you know what? I have bought rifles at Dick's. If I'm buying something more complex like an AR or something like that, I wasn't going to go to Dick's.
Yeah.
That wasn't going to be where I was going to make
that
purchase
you kind of want to
anyway.
go. Yeah, you kind of want to go where somebody knows what the hell they're talking about.
Exactly.
And the guy at Dick's doesn't necessarily know what he's talking about.
Do buy a bunch of really cheap ammo at Dick's. A lot of because, well, you guys are like, oh my God, you're an idiot. Don't buy cheap ammo at Dick's because you can buy it online for so much less. And then I would tell you, not in New York. So in New York, we can't buy ammo online. So with those limitations, when Dick's would have sales, I'd go in there. But guess what? I'm not going to Dick's anymore for anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a big sacrifice. It's not like
Right.
I'm like, oh, I'm not going to my local grocery store. Screw them.
Yeah.
No, I have a million other options available to me.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? I'm going to start choosing the other options.
Yeah.
Now, I was paying a little bit more of a premium at my gun store.
Uh-huh.
They actually, if I go in with like a cheaper than dirt catalog and I'm look, I can get this 1,000 rounds for this. Can you just order it and get it shipped to the store and I'll pay whatever?
Mm-hmm.
They'll do it. They don't care. They'll play the game, but I try not to beat them up and be a dick.
Right.
So to do it, I just go somewhere else and buy my ammo.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when I want my specialty bullets, I'll buy them from the gun store.
Right.
Stuff I wasn't going to get, find at Dick's anyway. But just something out there. I get annoyed when I see things like that. And like I said, and honestly, I'm willing to give the NRA credit when they are willing to take a stand.
Yeah. Yeah.
I gotta say I'm happy with that.
Yeah. No, I was definitely going to Dick's for a lot of my outdoor equipment.
Sure.
Not firearms, not knives, things like that, but tents, sleeping bags, outdoor cook stuff. But the truth is, there's a lot of places you can get that equipment.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm gonna do.
Maybe you won't feel so guilty buying online.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
That's right. All right, now big news from China.
Yeah, China. What do they got going on?
Xi Jinping, the president of China, has just put an end to term limits for himself.
That's smart.
Good news, because he's getting up there in age, but I think he wants to ride this thing out for the rest of his life.
I like it.
A lot of people have been calling him, comparing him to Mao.
Oh, I've heard that.
That's now against the law, so we can't.
He doesn't like that
now,
analogy.
no, I have to give him a shout out because
what did he do?
Beijing is supporting our podcast by downloading.
They do download
about 90 downloads of every episode we make.
Yeah, that's.
So
I
don't know who's
commitment.
in Beijing, and I don't know why they're downloading so many versions.
That's a commitment
of it,
to
but,
the Survival and Basic Badass podcast.
So if you are in Beijing and you're listening right now, you need to turn it off. Because I'm about to run through all the phrases that have just been banned in China.
Abort!
This past
Abort.
week. You don't want to get in trouble.
All right, so if you're in China and you're tempted to... What?
If you're tempted to type in the words in your internet search, I don't agree, can't do it. Not going to get you anywhere. Migration? Nope. Immigration? Nope. Because if you were planning on leaving because you were scared you were going to have a dictator, can't do it.
Too late.
Yep, they're turning it off. Re-election? Nope, can't say that.
That's smart.
Election term? Nope. Constitution amendment.
All right.
Constitution rules. Proclaiming oneself emperor. Nope.
I
can't
was
type
going to do that.
Animal Farm and 1984 by George Orwell are now banned.
I literally put those two in my iPod, both this morning.
Yeah, well, if you were in China, it would have been good because that was it. That was it. Winnie the Pooh.
Oh,
can't type it in.
He's a little crazy.
I did not understand why, and then I typed in Winnie the Pooh.
What happened?
And Xi Jinping. They look exactly alike. So whatever you do, don't compare him to Winnie the Pooh, because that's going to get you in trouble. The 14th letter of the English alphabet was temporarily banned. It's okay to look up the letter N now.
They opened it up?
Yeah.
All
but
right.
for a week or so there, no letter N's. I don't really have a lot on that one. I don't know why.
And then...
Yeah. Personality cult. Can't look that up anymore. And proclaiming oneself emperor. Don't type those 3 words in a row. You're not going to get you. It's not going to get you anywhere.
All right.
Now, Global Times, that's the state-run newspaper there.
Okay.
They just said this recently. It's worth noting that for some time, the media began growing strident in their abuse of Beijing, almost using curse words. So they're
That's
obviously
harsh.
very upset because apparently somebody almost used a curse word. I mean, that's another great reason why you don't want to listen to this podcast if you're in Beijing.
We do use curse words sometimes.
Like, I mean, you really could get in trouble if
But
you said
wouldn't
something
use
like
a curse word describing China, would you?
Not China. And you wouldn't want to do that. And you definitely wouldn't want to say something like, maybe fuck Jinping.
You wouldn't say that. That would be a no-go?
Yeah, no, don't say, any of those sorts of words. I was going to go on a little swearing tirade, but I know
bet you were.
I know that I'm going to, I'm just going to limit myself.
All right.
I'm a little bit disappointed in myself.
Self-control.
But, yeah, so you want to be careful if you're in China and you're concerned that you're going to be living in a dictatorship in the next couple of years.
Well,
Cause
you're not
happening.
allowed to be concerned anymore.
You're
so
not allowed to be worried
solved.
about it or disagree.
So problem solved. That's one of those things just takes care of itself.
Right.
Now,
And it's a good thing because, they're not, the citizens in China aren't allowed to own firearms.
okay.
So there's not really anything they can do about it.
All right. No,
That's
that
just
makes
the way it
sense.
is.
Now, it's actually been brought to my attention that the Chinese, one of the national newspapers over there.
Yeah, it would be the...
Well, you found the
it would
article?
be it would be the Global Times because that's the
Global
only...
Times is the
that's the only
newspaper.
media.
All right.
That's the
Well, it
media.
turns out they had some kind of op-ed piece. I'm sure that people are just writing in and expressing their views.
Right.
That said that it turns out China is very worried about America's human rights violations.
Right.
Right? Because it turns out that by not outlawing guns and banning them from private citizens, we are creating an atmosphere where people can just hurt each other.
Right. I mean, it's not at all like
Now-
harvesting the organs from Christians that didn't register with the government there.
No, it's not like that at all.
Okay.
No, we're good. Yeah. No, it turns out that Reuters saw the story, apparently has no concept of history or what happens in China when they take away guns and what the government might do. And they're like, wow, this is really great. Even China thinks we should be getting rid of guns. And really, we are, hurting Americans by not taking away their gun rights.
Right.
So,
God
I'm just
forbid.
saying, China's got your back. If that's your team, then China's got you. So
Right. If God forbid, we were to start talking about someone maybe proclaiming oneself emperor. That's one of the phrases.
yeah.
Then it all works itself out.
All right. I think that's about as far as we want to take this.
Yeah. No, I think we already have Death Squad coming here.
We have Death Squads.
We're good.
All right,
We're good on that.
At least now, if it's recorded at your house and then uploaded at my house, whose door are they going to kick in?
I don't know, man. That's a close one. We'll see. We'll let you guys know next week.
Now, also on Facebook, what I've tried to do is a regular Prepping Badass page. I put a lot of neat survival stories, cool tips, different things on there for you guys. I try and share. I do have a little bit of the hokey, like, oh, this is funny, and oh, this is kind of political, things that I post on there. You know what? Honestly, those are the ones that get the shares. And when we get shares, then when people like the posts, I'm able to kind of recruit them into bringing them into the fold. And then they start listening to the podcast and the Badass family grows. That's why I bring in some of those ones where you're like, well, that's not all prepping and all survival and whatever. I understand maybe some of you guys, but some of it's just funny. Come on, you got to, whatever. But if you are true to the more hardcore and you just want survival, straight down business, you want to join the Prepping Badass group. Prepping Badass group, I try and keep pure.
All right.
Over there, I only post...
No Mickey Mouse nonsense
No
there.
Mickey Mouse pictures or whatever. I leave all that on the one. Now, really, if you're a hardcore and you're a badass, you're going to join both because you make a commitment and you stick with it because that's what badasses do. But I'm just saying, if you're a little sensitive and you get upset by like political things, you may want to maybe focus on the group and keep your over there. Just putting that out there. Possibility.
All right.
Or if you just want to tell us about your anger and disgust, you want to shoot us an email. And that would be at preppingbadass@gmail.com.
That's right.
Attention, Kevin, and then you don't even need to put attention, Kevin. He's going to get it.
I'm the only one that's checked.
He's the only one checking it.
Replying and all that sort of stuff.
If you're like, you, and he'll know, oh, that's me they're talking about.
Yeah,
so you're good there. Otherwise, head over to iTunes, leave us a review.
Oh, yeah, we do. We could use a couple of reviews. We haven't had any lately.
A couple of reviews or maybe a couple of dollars over at Patreon.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/preppingbadass. Or wherever you're listening.
And then you can enjoy this very commercial-free podcast.
It might not always be commercial-free, but it's commercial-free today.
And it's commercial-free as long as we can
afford to do it.
Keep things up and running.
So with that, stay safe, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With FishingBooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. FishingBooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to FishingBooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today.